Hiya there. I'm Maggie. I'm 25 and I like routine. I like routine a lot. Some people might say I'm stuck in a rut, but not so. I just like things precise. Look, there's a place for everything and everything in its place. But my rigid ways almost cost me the hottest boyfriend I've ever had. Before I tell you how hot Austin is, go ahead and like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. Okay, so back to Austin. He was so hot, I think his clothes ironed themselves. Not only did he have a smile that melted my heart, but he had a really flexible personality, which was helpful for somebody like me, who wasn't so easygoing. We couldn't have been more opposite in some ways, though. Our main difference was technology, believe it or not. Austin was a software programmer and was always lining up for the newest toy or device. But for me, they were always beeping and bopping and bugging the crap out of me. And don't get me started on those voice commands. Because if you accidentally say the wrong thing, you end up in a pretzel of a conversation with a robot. One thing that always bugged Austin was my frustration of modern technology. I suppose I grew up a little out of step with my generation. My mom was really old-fashioned, and she didn't want to deal with computers or phones, so we just used a landline. And that's what I got used to. At school, I'd lose points for turning in handwritten reports, but I didn't have a typewriter either, so what was I gonna do? These days, my beef with technology was causing problems with Austin, who would get his feathers ruffled if somebody didn't text him back. I refused to get a mobile phone, and at first, I think it just confused Austin. But we found a way to make it work, and we moved in together. When I told my mom, she flipped her wig and said that we shouldn't be sharing a roof if we weren't married. But me and Austin had a great thing going. He pretty much left me to my routine. But for my birthday, he got me one of those stupid smartphones that had email and book face. It had so many of those apps that I couldn't even figure out how to dial the phone. Austin was a little hurt by the fact that I returned it, but what was I gonna do with it? If I didn't mention before, I'm a hairstylist, so most of my job was in person and working with something physical. My routine started at 6 a.m. when my alarm went off. Generally, I woke up 3 to 6 minutes before and beat the technology to the punch. I had the coffee on by 6:15, and by 8:15, I was at the salon and ready for my first appointment of the day, which is at 9 a.m. sharp. And then, after my last appointment at 5:30, I would make dinner arrangements and aim for a 10:15 bedtime. There were daily chores to complete, of course. Each day, a different focus. Saturday mornings were laundry mornings, after which planned my outfits for the next 7 days. I only used laundromats that accepted quarters. Some of them used those pay with your phone apps, but I didn't have time to deal with some virtual world. But then the world started changing and nobody was making appointments at the salon anymore. At first, it was just a couple of my customers, but then more canceled. Soon, my routine was gone, and I didn't know what to do with myself. Both Austin and I were stuck at home. At first, he was excited about the time together, but we started getting into fights about the dumbest stuff. Apparently, he felt setting a timer for the time he was going to spend in the shower was taking it too far and went on some big tirade about flexibility. I called my mom, but she was still upset about us living together. I felt like everybody was giving me guff. One Saturday morning, I wanted to do laundry, but I was out of coins, so I went to the bank. Well, the bank lady said that they couldn't give me any coins. That was absurd, I told her, but she said that they had a shortage at their branch. I tried to explain that it was laundry day and that I couldn't complete laundry or plan my outfits without the coins, but she copped an attitude and told me to just pay online. What nerve! I wasn't going to turn my whole routine around for one piddly bank, but all the branches I visited were out. There was this one grocery store that was only giving out $2 in quarters. That's only 8 quarters. How am I supposed to complete my laundry with 8 quarters? You can't. But nobody understood, not even Austin, who kept trying to show me how to use that stupid laundry app. He downloaded it and was saying it was pretty easy, but I felt like there was a conspiracy out there trying to get me to change my lifestyle. I know I wasn't the only one struggling, but it wasn't just laundry. Everybody else I knew seemed to be converting their work online, but I was a hairstylist. It was a craft, not some virtual video game. And I didn't trust those spy devices. Austin thought that I should get with the times, and it irritated me that he talked down to me. He'd look at me like he was my kindergarten teacher and explain that technology was a tool like any other, and I could use it to my advantage if I was crafty enough. But he didn't understand my frustration, and I didn't understand why he couldn't let it be. He tried to encourage me to make my own videos, but I wasn't a videographer. I was a hairstylist. He just wouldn't listen. I told him that I didn't want to deal with technology, period. And would you believe what he said? He said that I was being just like my mom, which he knew would tick me off like anything else. Funny enough, it was my mom that I thought would understand me the most, but when I called my mom to cry on her shoulder, she asked me when Austin and I were going to get married, and she said she didn't want to talk until we had a wedding date planned or until we moved apart. She kept saying it was bad luck and all this old world superstition stuff, and I flat out couldn't take it one more second. I exploded on her and said she needed to get with the times. It was at that moment that my own words came back and kicked me in the head. I guess it was really bothering me because I was quiet all night. Austin came by to check in on me. He apologized for calling me my mom, but I said he was right. And I finally told him about my mom and how she doesn't want us to live together unless... And then out of nowhere, Austin got down on his knee. He reached into his pocket, but instead of holding up a ring, he was offering me a phone. I thought he was making fun of my mom and the idea of marriage, but then he gave a little speech. He told me how much he loved me and that he wanted to live in my world and around my routine. But for a while, he wasn't sure that I wanted to live in his world. He said that almost a year ago, he offered me a phone, and on the phone was a GPS tracking. He said that he thought that a treasure hunt to an engagement ring was on his agenda that day. But I was so unwilling to try new things that I never found the ring. And he never got a chance to propose. It was like a punch to the gut, and I had the wind knocked out of me. Somehow, in that moment, I realized how lucky I was to have a guy like Austin. And here he was, unwilling to give up on me, down on his knee, proposing. I was like my mom, but I didn't have to be, and I think that's why I accepted Austin's phone. Remember, guys, it's the flexible reed that survives the storm while mighty oak gets snapped in half. Trying anything new can be challenging, but once I let Austin help, I learned quickly. Not only do I do some of my shopping online now, but I also found this thing called YouTube, where I share videos about how to cut and style hair. It's totally new, but I'm starting to find my rhythm. It's true what they say. Everything you want is right outside your comfort zone. I didn't want to change my routine because I was comfortable, but I was so stubborn it almost cost me the best thing that happened to me. What do you want to change about your life? Tell us all in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. Remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom.